Welcome to Module 23. So at this point, you are done with the GROC, or you should be done with the GROC lessons. So this module and the next module, well actually from here on out, the hands-on stuff is just your final project and a couple of exercises that you need to do that lead up to the final project. I hope you enjoyed the topics in Module 22. They were kind of new this year and just interesting things to think about and know about and to be able to make conversation about. In this module, we're going to look just a little bit more about the situation of women in computer science. Now, we've made great strides in the last couple of years, but there's still a long way to go. So this is hopefully will be kind of an easier one. I gave you some resources about connecting to organizations for women in technology if this is the path you are planning to choose. Anyway, as far as the hands-on exercises, there is in the last module you guys got started by defining a function and you learned how to do that. As I'm recording this, many of you, a bunch of you, haven't quite finished up. So I'm hoping that you'll be okay with that, defining a function. Once again, please come see me if you're not. I'm happy to go over any of this stuff. So at this point, you should know how to define a function. And the exercise in this module is a little bit more complicated. It is about flipping through functions. So the idea here is that for your final project, you will have to be able to go back and forth between different areas, rooms in a house or planets in a universe or whatever your world is. The user, the player, has to be able to go back and forth, like go into one and then go back, go someplace else, and then maybe go back into that one. The idea is it's not a linear program. You have to be able to go, the player has to be able to go back and forth a couple of times into whichever areas you've got in your program. So this exercise, this flipping through functions exercise that you have to do, will teach you how to do that. For the purposes of this exercise, it's very simple, just so that you can identify which of the functions you're pulling up and going back to. But when it's your own, you'll use that model, you'll use that code in your final project, but you'll substitute it obviously for whatever it is that you've designed into your program. If that doesn't make sense or you don't understand any of that, please come and talk to me, because it's really important that you understand that this program is not just any game of your choice. It's a game that has to do particular things, and the main thing is you have to be able to go back and forth into the different sections of your program. And in prior years, there have been students that have just like totally ignored that. So I just want to make sure that you understand. If you're confused at all, it's still not too late. You've got plenty of time. Come and talk to me and we can try and straighten that out. And the other project is working with a list, because the idea, and although this part's probably not totally required, but it kind of is, because if you're going back and forth into different rooms, you might have things that your player's supposed to pick up or do or find or something, or even if it's just a marker to let you know that your player has been in that room before, you would be wanting to use a list to add things to the list and check to see if those things are in the list, so that you know then what your code needs to do. Once again, if that doesn't make any sense to you, come and see me and I'm happy to talk about it. So we're winding down. After this, there's only one more module that's very simple, and you'll be able to just work on your final project at this point. Don't forget about the journal. You have to put things in the journal every time you do an exercise or anything that has to do with your final project. Write it down and let me know how much time, because you're supposed to have a minimum of, I think, 8 hours is what I said, to be working on your final project in order to get full credit for it. So, and I want to see examples of what took you that time. Have fun, and we'll see you next time.